opportunity. As wait, here we are with Investors Playbook live. As always, you have your co-host Deshaun and Cornell coming at you with financial topics, tips, and what's happening in the market. And a lot is happening in the market right now. Um, a lot of what we thought was going to be disaster central, a lot of what Trump was saying was going to um, pretty much change, shake things up. A lot of that's kind of getting rolled back, right? And even with this massive government shutdown, people were worried about some of the benefits that would just go poof. Um, but not everyone is just going to lay down and let that happen, right? So in this episode, we're going to talk about food stamps or SNAP. We're going to talk about student loan forgiveness. And of course, we got to hit on some specific companies that have been doing very well. So we're going to talk about Amazon a bit. Um, and of course, what happened with this past rate cut. A lot has been happening this past week. Government, again, is still shut down currently. How many days has it been, Cornell? My gosh. I mean, I don't think we passed the longest amount of days.
I think we might be on that day, or because the last one was what, 32
30,
days?
I think it was 35.
35. Okay, so yeah, we're close. It's this week.
Oh, man. Yeah, we are very close. If the government stays shut down by the end of this week, this will be the longest government shutdown in the history of the US. But with that, there is some light at the end of said tunnel, or should I say, a contingency exit door for some people. SNAP was feared to be not get paid out this upcoming week. This is going to be the month that individuals were expected to not get their SNAP benefits, which would be quite detrimental to a lot of people, a lot of low income homes, a lot of individuals who are depending on and relying on SNAP. We did not think that the government would be shut down this long, but here we are. But there are individuals, again, who are fighting for SNAP to still be paid out. So, Cornell, I'm gonna let you dive into the specifics of what's happening and how important tomorrow is. Tomorrow being November 3rd, 2025.
So the thing is, USDA, they were trying to say that these funds were not supposed to be used for just a lapse of payments or like a government shutdown. They were using this money for they wanted to say for an emergency.
Well, hold
So
on.
they
Let's give some context to what you're saying first. So, we're talking emergency funds from the USDA, right?
right.
Okay. Yeah. So USDA has what it normally pays out, but in this case, there are emergency funds set aside that the USDA can use um, in specific cases. And what Cornell is talking to is that the USDA was basically saying this is not one of those cases in which we use our emergency funds. But you got some. Nah, you keep going. I just wanted to give that context of what the funds that you were referring to. But please go ahead.
Yeah, so they were trying to negate using these funds that are supposed to be used for food stamps or a lapse of being able to pay. Uh, but the court rulings are saying they rejected that notion or that interpretation by USDA and are saying no, this is actually a, a justified reason to use these funds, and we are ordering you to provide these to the citizens. So these court rulings just saved a lot of people because there are a lot of families that really need this money. Because unfortunately, everybody doesn't get paid enough to sustain their lifestyle and provide food for their family. And I've met some people that are just like, oh, just get another job, just hustle, bruh. Anyone that is connected with the real world knows that it is not that easy to just make more money. Because for one, we can't just create more time. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, you could get another job, but when are you going to sleep? When are you going to be with your family? Like, there's a lot of factors that I feel like people aren't really too empathetic about. There are some blessed people that don't have to worry about that, right? But we still have to think about the families that are not making enough and they hold those job positions that we all need. Like think about the cooks at restaurants that you like to go to. Think about like sanitation workers. And I'm not saying every sanitation worker doesn't make enough, but there are a lot of people that don't. What people got to realize is the average salary is like 60,000. In today's society, 60,000 isn't going to get you much, especially when the average rent is probably around 2,000.
Right.
So people got
Yeah.
to think about these things, and they got to kind of like think past their scenario, because man, it is rough out here for a lot of people. And then to add people who are not financially literate on top of that, which isn't always their fault. And that's what we're trying to fight against now with this podcast. But yeah, it's rough and it's systemic.
Yep. Exactly, man. Like I think you said a big one, the lack of empathy that sometimes people have. Um, it's I don't know. It's it's important to realize that everybody's story is gonna be different and understanding that someone can't just flick a switch. Like if it was so easy to just get more money, then we would all be great, right? We would all be sitting, we would be chilling, we wouldn't be worried about money, we wouldn't be complaining about interest rates. If we could just easily get more money, and a lot of people are even saying, and which I think it's just something that you can't say now. It's something that people have to grow out of. Is if you are relying on someone to provide you with food, they have that same ability to take it away. So even leaning on food stamps or letting that be a means of sustainment, you're already down the wrong path. And I mean, I hear that too, but again, everybody's situation is not the same. There are people out there who take advantage of
Yep.
the system. There are people out there who use the system and then are choosing to continue to use the system despite being able to work, despite being able to get a job. But there are other folks who just really they don't have a means of working. They are um, they probably have family that they have to take care of as well. So you got to just realize everyone's situation is going to be different when it comes to this food stamps thing. So I think what we're seeing now is going to definitely help a lot of people, a lot of people who are relying on food stamps, a lot of people who are relying on SNAP. And I think also when you kind of dive down and connect the dots even further, if SNAP benefits stopped, then spending and economy would just kind of slow down. You have people who aren't buying food because they don't have their SNAP benefits, which of course that trickles into economy, that trickles into like warehouse workers, it trickles into some of the grocery stores. The effects of it, I don't know how far down it would go, but it's not just a household to household type of situation. It can be a bit, it can branch out, right? This situation, if it does happen to where folks do not receive their food stamps, this is something that can branch out and affect, I mean, millions of people, right? Like literally millions of people. So what we're seeing is, I think it was Massachusetts and Rhode Island, two
Yeah.
federal judges from, one from Massachusetts, one from Rhode Island, essentially saying, "Nah, man, y'all can't do this. Y'all can't just not pay this money out because you have the means to do it, and it needs to get done. It will cause, what was the word they used? Irreparable, basically undoable harm. Like you can't go back if you don't pay out on Monday or partial payments within the next 3 days. It was like saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So yeah, the court ordered that USDA does pay that money. Um, but as we know and what we've seen is that there is no clear answer or clear guidance or clear solution on what someone will decide to do given something that they're ordered to do. So we will see Monday if SNAP benefits do get pushed out. And if it does, kind of ease the tension, that'll at least give another month for people to figure out how they're going to sustain themselves. Because this government shutdown doesn't look like it's easing up, man. It's only like I don't even think they've met to negotiate and talk about how they want to move forward. They're like deadlocked. So there's no telling how long this is gonna last.
I,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I've heard nothing about it. Also on that end, and I think it's crazy that politicians are still able to get paid when something like this has happened. But people who don't make the decisions, people that are working for, in government jobs and things of that nature, like TSA, who aren't getting paid and they're supposed to receive back pay. But even if you're receiving back pay, think about how much damage it does for you to not get a check for a month.
Right.
You- just think about that. So yeah, you could sit here and say, oh, but they're going to get paid the money later on. How long can you go without money?
The mortgage rate, the mortgage, they still gonna want their money. Rent,
All
they
your
still
bills are
gonna want their money. Their landlord gonna still gonna want their money. You still gotta eat, right? Students in school, they still got activities. Like, yeah, man, that just goes to that lack of empathy that people be having, right?
yeah.
Like, you gotta see past yourself sometimes, for real. Um, yeah, nah, it's a month is crazy. A month
A
of no
month
pay is
is
crazy. Yeah,
insane.
yeah, a month is crazy.
But you know, but speaking about court orders, do you mind if I transition?
No, no, no,
To
go
the
for it,
next
go for it.
topic? All right, but speaking about court orders, the American Federation of Teachers actually sued the U.S. Department of Education because, if you all recall, Trump and his administration were trying to put an end, or they were trying to limit severely, public service loan forgiveness and some of the income-based driven programs like the SAVE program. Um, they were actually forced with the court supervised agreement to follow through and still grant forgiveness to the people that qualify through the income driven repayment plan or the public service loan forgiveness. So this is another uh well, not for everybody. 'Cause I know everybody wasn't for this, but this is a win for me.
Hey, that's it. That's it, man.
I feel like it's a win, man. I feel like it's a win. My thing is we print money for everything else.
Yeah,
And everybody's worried about this is going to increase our taxes. This is going to increase inflation. Inflation. This is going to increase inflation. And my thing is, the dollar is dying anyway.
yeah,
The dollar's dying anyway. We print an infinite amount of money. He's going to die.
yep. I agree with you. It's going away. That's why gold, I feel like, has been exploding the way it's been exploding
For sure. And
because
Bitcoin.
and Bitcoin. Yeah, the dollar is dying, definitely. It's becoming useless. Because we're inflating it so much, and like you said, just printing more and 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 more.
And it's not backed to buy anything.
No, it's backed by
So
promises.
it's a broken system.
Yeah,
Something has to change. And this is why people are going so hard for Bitcoin and gold. I know
yeah,
somebody in the chat just said money has no value. Money does have value because we place value on it.
right.
Anything that we place value on has value. Same with gold. Like gold is a metal. It's, it's a
Yeah.
metal. Like we place value on gold.
hmm We decide how much worth gold is, right? Same thing with Bitcoin. Same thing with any commodity, right? And money became years, like, you're talking thousands of years ago, became the proper, not proper, but became the way to trade when people, instead of trading, milk and chickens and eggs, they needed a way to, you know, create a systematic way of doing it. So money's been around for forever. But we're talking about the dollar bill. The dollar bill itself is decreasing in its value. Um, it still has value now, but it's slowly going away. We're seeing how much debt we're in when it comes to the dollar, when it comes to the US debt. Um, yeah, so money has value for sure. Uh, but there are a lot of different forms of money, is what we're saying. But yeah,
And it's crazy. What's crazy is with all this stuff going on, the stock market remains at an all-time high. On Wednesday, we hit our peak.
I don't
And
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I'm
I
all for it. I just don't understand it quite honestly.
I think with all this turmoil, we still have things that are groundbreaking going on.
Mm,
Uh, Especially like in tech. Think about AI. Think about how fast it's developing. Now we have the Sora and
mm,
all these things. This is the greatest. People say this is the greatest thing since the internet was created.
yeah.
And I
It-
can honestly see that. Like I see our lives changing before our eyes. Like they're making robots that do chores, bro.
yeah, bro.
For $20,000, you could buy a robot that does all your chores.
That's crazy. And you know, I said I don't get it, but I think I do. I think what's happening is that the stock market is doing the opposite of what it has done in the past and reacted so much to politics. Like politically, the US is all over the place. Government shutdown, Trump pushing all of his mandates or executive orders, a lot of uproar from both sides. But you have companies, like you said, that are still doing amazing things. The value of the companies are not inflated. The value of the companies are what they're worth, right? Because they're doing groundbreaking things. Google, Amazon, Nvidia, all the top companies in the S&P 500 are are making major waves, right? There a lot of them are the leaders in this technology in this AI race, right? So that you're right. I think that I think that you have a point. Like despite the turmoil that's happening politically, the actual businesses, the actual companies, the actual work that's being done, that's not stopping.
Mm.
Companies are still doing what they need to do to make the consumer, right, a product that can change their lives, that are making products that are worth buying. They're not putting out a bunch of crap or a bunch of BS. Like AI is major. And
It's
it's
extremely
it is
major.
major, bro. It is major. And the rapidness of how much it has changed in just the past 4 years. 4
Yeah.
years since ChatGPT became a app that you can download, right? 2021, I think, maybe. Or I don't remember the exact year, but it ain't been that long.
It hasn't, bro.
And and it has made, I mean, it's already made people millions of dollars, right? Just the app alone has made people millions. Now you have Gemini, you have Claude, you have Sora, you have you have apps that can pretty much do anything. Make music for you, make music videos for you, make videos for you, right? Like it just goes on and on and on. So
The,
the amount of ease that AI makes your life. Go ahead, bro.
the fact that Nvidia is now the number one, like the most valuable company today says it all. Like Nvidia is the infrastructure of AI.
Yeah,
Nvidia is the first $5 trillion market cap company, and they just hit that this previous week.
yeah,
Insane. That should tell you everything. I'm talking about above Apple, above Google, above Amazon, above
yeah,
Microsoft,
yeah,
like
yeah,
the above the biggest companies that we've always known. Nvidia has topped all of these, and all of these companies actually need Nvidia.
yeah. I'm gonna give the chat a plug. It's 18 folks in here right now. Everybody listening, we appreciate you all for tuning in. We appreciate you all listening. We appreciate the chat, the conversations that's happening on the topic of NVIDIA. All right. We saying it here today, November 2nd. NVIDIA just bet, well, they invested, I don't want to use the word bet, $1 billion into Nokia. NVIDIA wants to be the lead AI telecommunications company. They're already the lead in AI kind of in general, right? They haven't dove into telecommunications. We're talking 6G, right? We were talking 5G 5 years ago. Now we're talking 6G. And NVIDIA decided to work with Nokia. We haven't heard Nokia in
Since Drake
like a
Drake song that just
decade,
came
bro.
out.
Right. It's been a minute, man. So with this investment that NVIDIA is putting on Nokia, just look into it. right? Of course, we always say do your own research, but understand why Nvidia is putting its chips on Nokia, a cell phone or telecommunications company that hasn't really been around, right? So again, if you're tuning in, just check it out, research, understand the purpose, the reason. Nvidia is trying to expand. I won't even say try. Nvidia is expanding. Okay. They're expanding. They're doing a lot of major investments, strategic partnerships, and Nokia is its next proposition. So look into it. What's the ticker for Nokia? I want to
Yeah,
plug
so
that.
that's there's some serious stuff going on
NOK.
with it. Eh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what people have to realize is we see this happening like in front of our eyes. The wealth gap is about to separate, like it's about to be even larger. Okay, so the people that are not invested right now gonna lose a lot of money, especially with all the money being printed and inflation about to increase because they're easing up on quantitative tightening. You all have to be invested now more than ever.
Yeah.
As the US dollar continues to fall, you're going to continue to struggle more and more. Things are going to get more and more expensive, and you trading your time for money is going to be less and less effective. You have to buy assets. You got to buy things that are going to increase in value more than what inflation is taking away from you. So that means I'm not talking about put the money in your savings account. I'm talking about invest in reputable companies. If you believe in Bitcoin, you know, invest in Bitcoin,
For
but
sure.
do not hoard the dollar. It's broken.
No mattress money, man. No mattress money. Even if you got an emergency account, put it into a high yield savings account and only do that. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to sometimes justify having a emergency savings, um, but it's always good to have money to where you don't necessarily need to swipe a credit card if they don't take credit card payments. Like, say you had something that happened at your house and you have to pay your contractor using cash or bank account money. It's good to have it then. But even with stocks, that's liquid, right? You can sell and get your money from a stock in like a day. That is not difficult. But to stick to um our six-step process, I will say that having something, right? It does not need to be a major amount of money, but having something that is completely liquid, not necessarily having it be an asset that you have to sell, putting that in a high yield savings account that's at least giving you 3.5 to 4% return on the money that's sitting there, and just let that grow. And when I say a reasonable amount, I'm saying like 1,000, maybe a couple thousand. But when you start to get to like 10, 20,000 in a savings account, it doesn't make sense
It
because
doesn't make sense.
the money's not going to grow nearly as fast as it would in these companies that we are seeing grow over. Like you just said it Wednesday, the stock market hit an all time high again. What's slowing it down? Government shutdown? Nope. Trump administration? Nope. Isn't- What's slowing it down? Right. So let's just remember that we are able to look back on this year and see how much the stock market has changed people's lives, how much it has increased in the past 10 months, right? We got 2 more months of this year left. Bitcoin has went crazy. Even the ones that we're seeing in the chat, XRP, right? Ethereum, not as reputable as Bitcoin, probably not as trustworthy as Bitcoin, but has still been moving. And then you have large companies like all the ones you mentioned, Cornell, they've just been on a tear. And I I dare someone to say like, oh, the technology age is ending or technology is, all right, what's next? If it's not tech, if it's not AI. AI just got here 4 years ago, it's done major things. I feel like it's just gonna keep continue to enhance. So All right, I get
Yeah.
off my soapbox. I get off
And
my soapbox. Go
we can
ahead.
see that there's evidence of that. There's
Yeah.
evidence of that. Like anybody that's saying, I don't think anyone will say technology era is over with. That's crazy.
Right.
Because every sector needs technology. Whether you're in healthcare, whether you're in industrials, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You need technology. As technology advances, it improves whatever sector it is. It could be fintech, like it could be whatever.
Literally.
Um, yeah, literally, you need tech for everything, and that's why it's so important. And there's just a lot of things coming up, so people gonna have to remain informed and just make sure that your money's in the market. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Don't miss the boat. Right. It's not so far gone to where we would ever say, "Oh yeah, you missed it. Don't invest. It's too late." Man, get off the sidelines. Start now if you haven't, and if you have started, continue. Go ahead.
But one thing I do want to say, right now we're at an all-time high. I would not dump a large amount of money into the market right now.
Yeah. Be
What
strategic.
you be strategic right now. If you're just starting, what I would do is I would dollar cost average. I would get a small amount that you're not going to miss whenever you get paid. Like what can you take out that is not going to affect your day-to-day living? I would
Hmm.
put that money into the market slowly. When we see a big pullback, because the market always pulls back, that is when you get aggressive. Do not dump $10,000 in the market right now while
Yeah.
it's at an all-time high. That's probably one of the worst things that you can do. Yeah, if you wait 5 years, you'll probably be up again, but it's not the best way to maneuver the market.
No,
That's
that's
unusual.
facts. That's facts. So it is good to think about the actual state of the market. Yes, the market has always gone up over time, but we do see major pullbacks that can happen for a year's time. Like the market can pull back for a full year. We saw that in 22, right? Like basically all of 22 was the market going down. But then we saw that springboard, right? So there are aspects to understanding when to put a lot of money in the market. But like Cornell said, you can't go wrong with dollar cost averaging. You'll catch the highs, you'll catch the lows, and even just doing research and figuring out what companies. Though the S&P 500 it's a combination of companies. The Nasdaq is a combination, or the QQQ SPY, those that you can actually invest in. They're a combination of companies. So look into that. What companies are currently not doing so great in the S&P 500 or in the Nasdaq? And if you are one that likes to research and look into specific companies, you might find some companies that aren't at their all-time high, even though the S&P 500 is at its all-time high, but it's still part of the S&P 500. So um, could be something to look into. So yeah, that's we call those sniper moves, right? We just like the S&P, the market is going great. Everything is up. We're seeing green all-time highs, but you have a company like I think at one point Microsoft wasn't doing as well as every other company in the S&P 500, and that good leverage, right? We know that for some reason Microsoft is on a dip, everything else is on a high. So in those instances, you got to make the decision: do I want to invest in the all-time high asset, which is the S&P, the Nasdaq, or a QQQ SPY, or do I want to pick this stock that is part of this combination of stocks, knowing that Microsoft is a very valuable company, but right now it's not at its all-time high. So
Mhm.
it's a lot. It's a lot, right? We could dive into it. We could talk about this for hours, but yeah,
Yeah.
man.
And I just wanted
Mm,
to clear something up. Because you had mentioned that the market fell all 2022, but it started to fall in fourth quarter. So the market was on a rise in 2022, but at
mm.
the end of the year is when it fell, and then that's when the market went negative. So I just wanted to clear that up before we
Thank you,
move.
bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what happened. No, thank you for that. So, see, we got to keep ourselves accountable, chat. Thank you, Cornell. Appreciate that. We
Oh,
can't be out here
no.
giving bad information, especially if it's history. Like that's what happened. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
yeah, man. Go ahead. You want to close it out?
Yeah, I just wanted to say we covered a lot of things. We talked about some rulings that happened in the courts. We also talked about how to maneuver just when you're starting to invest, or if you're investing and you're just not all the way informed on on where to put your money. So I hope that you all are listening to this stuff. Please share this video with someone else that you think could benefit from it. And we appreciate everyone that came into this live, and all the comments. Thank y'all. We appreciate y'all, and we hope to keep doing this and keeping people informed.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. We're gonna catch y'all next week.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.